Hello, how's it going? Happy Saturday. It's the casual Saturday version. Got my overalls on because this was what I always planned on doing with this fabric, was making a Moneta shirt, like a shirt from my Moneta dress bodice, and then making it in this fabric and wearing it under my Sew House 7 bibs. So finally that day has come. I just zigzag hemmed it, so it all worked out. Let's see here. I'm still adjusting things because I was furiously sewing a little, doing a little pre-sewing for you guys, so you don't have to sit through 10 French seams that are 1.5 yards long, you know? There's so many French seams. So how are you guys doing today? How is the lighting? I got it to be a little better color, don't you think? Like it's a little like richer, redder. What is this? Is this lint? Oh yeah. So I'm finishing up the Colette Myrna today. I'm not sure still how I feel about all the stitching down the center front, but like I said, you know, I didn't really plan ahead, but I mean, I think it could work, you know? So, we'll see. So, anywho, I'm sorry, I'm looking around my camera because I can't see everything today because I made my camera a little higher. That's why I'm kind of dodging and weaving and everything. So, hi, Christina. Okay, good. It's a little pinker, huh? Even the surface is, even I'm pinker. I'm pretty pink anyway, but... Okay, well, so I assembled the skirt front and I assembled the skirt back. I just need to do the second pass of the French seam. So basically, you're just going to see me sew the skirt together. Hi, Vicky. How's it going? So it's kind of like you're seeing half the French seams, you know, because today the tech guy is coming and I'm hoping he's going to get my cameras working again. And that way we'll have our iron cam back, the pattern camera back, and I don't have to like move these cameras, because anytime I move these, I'm always like, I'm gonna drop it and hurt the camera lens, you know? Plus, I've got these cameras, so I want to use them. I tried on the dress, and I'm really excited about this. It's I have to say, like, it feels so comfortable. It feels really casual on, but it doesn't look casual on, you know? It looks pretty, it's pretty show-stopping, you know? It really reminds me of the Kaftan, the Charlie Kaftan dress. It's a little more work than the Charlie Kaftan, but I know that little inset waist panel really scares people on the Charlie Kaftan. I'm here to tell you, don't be afraid of it. It's actually really pretty straightforward to sew, and I've sewn it 3 times on stream. So, hi, Carol. Oh, cool. Yeah, those, I kind of rushed those because it was kind of a surprise stream, but I'm going to finish those today and take them over to the shop because, you know, I'm like teaching my first class. Hi, Eliza. How's it going? Happy Saturday. So what are you guys up to? Are you guys sewing? I mean, Carol's like double streaming it right now. You beast. So, yeah, so I'm pretty pleased with where this is going. I finally found an invisible zipper. All I have left on the bodice is the sleeve hem. And I really didn't need to sew this little bit of side seam that I did here because this is where the invisible zipper is going. Hi, Ida. Good evening to you. Let's see, this one's a French seam. Yeah, so let's get going. All right, so let's see here. I have 2 skirts, 8 pieces of skirt. Lots and lots of skirt. There's enough skirt for you, and you. But you can't have any of it. So I sewed my first French seam, first half of the French seam. I put it wrong sides together, and I sewed it at 1/4 inch. I tried to trim the seam a little bit. I didn't really want to handle it too much because I don't want those little threads starting to poke out. Sorry I'm so messy today, but you know, it's Saturday, right? And it is the second pass is 3/8 inch because it's a 5/8 inch seam. Hi Kelly, how's it going? Oh, Eliza, that's right, you were on vacation. Did you have a good one? Hi, Rachel. You fell asleep yesterday, huh? That's what you said. Oh gosh, why is my needle unthreaded? Is my machine on? Oh yeah, my machine's on because I've been sewing on it. Of course it comes unthreaded right before I start. Oh, I hate it when just one strand goes through. All right, so I'm just gonna do this is like the center front seam of the skirt and then the side front seams of the skirt, or the back. I might be on the back skirt, I'm not sure. So, oh, a little ballet bag. Oh, her stuff's so cute. Roly-poly bag. I don't know that one. When I first discovered her, she was just happily sewing doing her sewing illustration thing, just on anything and everything. And she hadn't really been discovered. And so, like, when I started doing that the little friend zip pouch that we sewed recently, I started like looking through her account. I'm like, wow, she's done so much. I think she's written a book now. She sells patterns. She may even teach classes. Hi, Lisa. Here we are again, right? I was pretty tired when I left yesterday. I was like, all right, speed sewing, partially 3 willows was a lot. Because I was also like thinking about how I'm going to do my class and stuff. I am wearing the Burnside bibs. You start before I even started. Yeah, I don't wear these very much because the bottom, like I love the bottom, but they limit me what I can wear with them because I did wide leg crops. They're pretty wide leg patterns to begin with, and I cropped them because I just figured long it would be a lot of overall down there. So yeah, right. I know, Carol, totally. But what I found was I only have one pair of boots and I haven't worn them in a couple of years, and they're really cool boots. They're even made by Dansko, which is all I wear is Danskos usually. But I don't know, I just don't like the hassle of boots, and so my Danskos don't always go with my bibs. You know what I mean? So, you know, summer hasn't quite started here. The weather's been so weird. We had this crazy lightning and thunderstorm last night that woke me up. I had to batten down the hatches, make sure everybody was indoors. I slipped off the first step of the stairs, top of our stairs, but I only, it's like one step and then a diagonal step, and then you go down the rest of our stairs. And so that woke my husband up because I was reaching for the blinds at the window above our stairwell, and I was just reaching to shut them because they were open this much because the lightning was so bright it was waking up the puppy. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna just shut these blinds. Well, I slipped off the step, and as I was reaching for the blinds, it grabbed the picture on the wall, which made it clatter down, and he was like, are you okay? It scared him to death because he was asleep. And yeah, you know, so 4 a.m. lightning storm. Why do all the really cool things like that happen when you're sleeping, you know? I want to see the storms. But yeah, the weather's just not that great for all the summer outfits yet. And so I figured I could still squeeze my bibs in and wear my Moneta shirt that I made. Because May is almost done, you guys. And my pledge is to find the perfect tee. And I really like how this one started. So I think at the beginning of this week, I'm going to try and do a stream where I'm finishing up my pattern idea designs on my tee and what I'm going to adjust and how I'm going to adjust it. I didn't really interview any other tee patterns. Maybe I'll look at that plantain tee just because I know I can get that pretty quickly. Yeah, look, can you see that little stain? It's not a stain yet. When I carry a basket to and from work, it's just, hi Betsy, how's it going? Yay, you're here. You're in Spain. Bienvenidos. I don't know if that's how you say it in proper Spanish. That's how you'd say it in Mexico. Are you doing this dress too? That's awesome. Or what dress are you doing? Because we're doing a lot of dresses this month. I'm not gonna, ignore that. Okay, so yeah, I carry a basket to and from work. So it's like a low basket with a handle, kind of like, I like a bucket. I don't do a purse. I am doing my own T pattern. I use the Moneta dress bodice because I have a lot of Moneta dresses, and this is it. I use the Moneta dress bodice, and I made it into my own T-shirt, and I live streamed it, so it's there. Awesome, Betsy. Which version of this? Okay, let me finish my basket story. So I throw things in my basket. I throw my pre-washed fabric, my fabric to be washed, my coffee cup, and my coffee spilled a little bit on my fabric. I didn't notice it until I was cutting it out, so whoops. They do make leak-proof lids. I just don't opt to use the leak-proof lid. I can feel my husband eye rolling right now because it's his company that makes the cup. So I'm not his best customer. So Betsy, which version of the Myrna are you doing? Are you doing the long one? Are you doing, which sizing are you doing? Are you doing the curvy one? I'm kind of curious. And are you public on Instagram, and do you post pictures of yourself with your makes? Because I want to see. So I'm just doing like oodles and oodles of French seams here. So I pinned one of the front skirts to the maxi too. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about the drama of it, you know. I pinned it to my bodice, slipped the bodice over my head, and figured out I need to cut 2 inches off the length. So I did that. And that's if I wear clogs, which I always do, you know. It's just because of the way my legs are made. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. I was going to say, what the heck? Did I already do the ones on this one? Oh, I did. Dang, I'm just chatting away. I thought I had one reversed. I did a little bit of that on my last willow tank yesterday. I was getting a little punchy, and I had a couple things sewn backwards that I had to fix. I was like, okay, wait a minute. I can't tell the right and the wrong side of that fabric, so, you know. And then when I start rushing, mistakes are made. Hi, Joy. How's it going? From Calgary, yay. You're doing a 16 regular, and you're Betsy sewing, and it's, okay. I think I can remember that. No E in your SY, okay. I saw someone comment on YouTube today from the UK, and she says, I can't catch you live because of the time difference. And I had just told my husband this morning, I was like, I think we should move to the United Kingdom because that time zone would work better for my stream for most people. So he was like, okay, I'm down for that. At the very least, I need to visit you guys, you know. But now we have a Canadian, and I've always wanted to go to Canada. I've been to Alaska. So I'm live streaming both on Twitch and on YouTube. All of you guys are on YouTube so far that are commenting. And so sometimes you will see me talk to someone that you don't see the comment for. It's rare. I don't get as many commenters on Twitch, but I really love Twitch. It's just one of my favorite streaming platforms. So I keep doing it. Hoping to find some of those crafters on there. Hang out with us. So I did my first pass at 1/4 inch for the, cause it's a 5/8 inch seam. Please tell me it's 5/8 inch, right? And now I'm just doing my second one because there's just so many and I'm doing French seams. I didn't want to subject you guys to that. All right, so I've got all these done here. Yep. Okay. I have a pocket. I have barely any fabric, but I have enough for one pocket. And I'm going to do it on the side without my invisible zipper. That's right, Betsy. It's probably good. It's not good in my time zone right now since it's like 11:15 in the morning. I mean, some people would, you know. But at the same time, I don't think I'd be as accurate, you know. Is that fuzz? Okay, it's fuzz. So I really wanted to make sure I didn't get much puckering. You know, when you do the French, a lot of seams, my thread is a little bit heavier weight than probably what you guys are using. So it does tend to kind of backfire on me. And it's just because it's what I've been using for so long from the little factory that I was running. Oh, I wish Louise was here to see that we really can't tell the different directions of the fabric. So that's a relief. It looks really good. Maybe it isn't directional. I marked my, so when you cut this skirt out, you cut 4 of the front and 4 of the back. The fabric I'm using, let's see. Let me see if I can find a piece of the selvage, because I think it's, I'm sorry I don't tell you guys more about the fabrics I use. I get comments asking from people, and it's not, I'm not purposely being like hidden. I feel like, truthfully, I feel like I'm way behind on fabrics, and everybody else is up on all the designers and all the fabrics, and I'm probably using something from 3 seasons ago. So if I post about it, people will be like, yeah, I know, I've got that in my stash. I've already made 3 things from it. So that, and the fact that I'm not sponsored by anyone, so I don't really like feel beholden to do it. So, but I'm not trying to hide it. So let me find a piece of the selvage, because I have it right over here. Oh, I've been calling it cotton lawn, but it's cotton voile. It's called Winged by, I think that says Bonnie Christine. I'm pretty sure it's Art Gallery. I thought that would say that on there. Yep, Art Gallery. Here's the other part. So it's called Winged. Bonnie Christine for Art Gallery. There you go. It does. It's very flowy. Someone was saying on Instagram that they have this fabric too, and they said I didn't think it would be very good for a dress. And there's a chance this is printed on quilting cotton too, you guys. Like a lot of times the designer will do a line of prints, and then I think the fabric company says we're going to put 6 of your prints on voile or lawn, like for garment sewers, and all the rest of them are going to be on quilted cotton, you know? So you have to make sure you're getting the right, like don't just say, oh, I can use her fabric for my dress, because you might not have the same weight fabric as me. So just make sure it's, because this is pretty soft. This is 2 layers right here, you know? So all right, so let's see. This is, I did this to mark that this is the front, and that's where my invisible zipper starts. I did 2 so that they wouldn't, hopefully they won't come out, you know? But that means that my pocket is gonna go on this side. And I added the pocket myself on with a wee bit of fabric. Hopefully there's enough the pocket's big enough to put something in it, you know? Oh, you're making it out of rayon batik. That'll be awesome. Hi, Christy. Yeah, Christy, I totally think you can do bias on your willow tank dress as the bottom, you know? I think that would be awesome. Yeah, I would do that, Betsy. If you cut double to the line, the bodice, the other thing you could do is you could line your bodice with it. So let's see if I can explain this without being too confusing. So on the bodice, you have to do a bias trim to finish it. What you could do is sew this edge right sides together, the neck edge, and then turn it to the inside. And now you can then just lay it all flat and then gather up your edges. Just treat it as one piece of fabric after that point. Same with the back, but if you're going to line the back as well, then I would probably not put the seam juncture through the neckline. I would clean finish it so you have a nice clean edge there. So then I would sew one front to the back and then the other front to the back at the shoulders, and then sew your neckline. Do your darts in your back first though, and then sew this neckline. This will be open right here. Turn it to the inside and then treat it all as one fabric, if that helps you. Hope that's not a lot of information. Otherwise, just treat it as the two layers as one layer of fabric and just proceed with the directions. You'll be totally fine. That'll work really well, and I think lining it's a great idea. Because I was thinking, like, for some women, they may not want to wear a bra, and not me, not this girl. But, you know, I don't know, because it does kind of have that sexy bodice feel, but it's got very good coverage. So, thank goodness. I'm not about that décolletage life on me, but, you know. All right, so I'm going to do French seams with my side pocket. Let me try and remember how to do that. I'm just going to sew and just figure it out on the fly. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to sew one pocket to the front. Is this the... Here we go. Wait. This is my front, right? Do I have two right side pockets? Maybe I do. Oh, I do. I do. Well, that's just going to have to be how it is because I don't have more fabric. Yes, Christy, I tried them all on and absolutely they wouldn't have worked for me had I not scooped out the armhole. And I'm going to I'm going to make a tag for each of my willows. I'm going to say these are the modifications I did. By the way, the dress is pretty cute on. I really liked how simple it is. And you know, that pleat kind of creates some structure there and kind of keeps it away from your body, but not in a hoop skirt kind of way, but kind of more of a, I don't know, it just gives it's a good placement for it. It is on me. And I think I dropped the center front neck on that. I just scooped it out by 1 3/4 of an inch straight down here, and then I just blended it in the curve. And I would probably do that on all my tanks from now on. But I'm not going to modify all these heavily. I'm just going to modify each one a little bit and say, this is what I did, and this is what I'll probably do next time. So let's sew here. This is a kind of high-waisted, so I'm going to go a little bit lower. I'm actually going to, let's hold this up. All right. Yeah, I think that'll work right about there. Let's see here. I'm going to... Awesome. Yeah, and I think most people would need to scoop out the armholes, interestingly, you know. There's one pocket. That's the wrong side of the fabric. That's okay. On the pocket, it's kind of what you want. Do you want the right side of the fabric to show on the inside of your dress when you have your dress inside out, or do you want the right side of the pocket to show into your hand when your hand's inside your pocket? You know what I mean? You bought that pattern. That's awesome. That's good. See? I hope that you like that pattern. Yeah, so Rachel, I'll eventually have a picture of me wearing it. I know I've been bad about posting pictures. The weather's been so terrible here. The lighting's been pretty challenging. I know, excuses. I really need to figure it out. All right, I'm just holding up my back to my front. And I need to make sure the right side's together, or at least symmetrical. And then I'm just doing my placement for my pocket. Looks like my hand's shaking. All right. I don't really enjoy doing French seams on side seams with pockets. Where's my nip? Is that my nip? Look at that. Jeez. Yeah. Now your little notification just popped up, Christy. It says, great. It's so funny that I get notifications on this computer that someone replied to a comment on YouTube. I don't get them by email anymore, you guys, you know. Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me, Lisa. Hey June Handmade is having a sale, and Tilly and the Buttons is having a pattern sale. So watch all the pattern companies right now, because some of them are celebrating the end of Me Made May or Memorial Day weekend here in the United States. So, and that's good to know that Grain Lines is also on sale then, Lisa. That's cool. So, if you guys are wanting to pick up any patterns, it might be a good time to do so. And then I have a video on how to print PDFs if you guys kind of get into that. All right, so there's probably going to be a more elegant way to do this than I'm about to do it, but let's just see if I can do my French seam here. French seam of the side seam with the pocket. So let's see here. Do a 1/4 inch pass first. Let's see. Which way do I'm gonna put? Well, I have to put it this way. Never mind. Question answered. I don't know why I did that. Right, Christina. Oh, made by, okay, wait. Ooh. Oh, you finished the Yanta overalls? They're on laundry right now, washing out of the washable marker. Cool, Christy. How'd you like sewing those? Green style creations for sporty patterns? Oh, I'd never heard of that. I've heard of green pepper. Rose pant. Who does the rose pants? I'll probably connect that, but just give me a chance to remember how to do a French seam with the side pocket. Kind of winging it here. You guys assure me that you love it when I try and figure out things on stream. So I like that because I used to feel like I had to look like I knew all the answers, and really quickly I figured out that that was so like not genuine because I don't have all the answers and I'm figuring it out, and this is you guys are my sewing group, you know, like I'm figuring it out with you. I'm trying to figure out which way to tend the seam allowance there. I've done this before. I did it on the Charlie Captain, right? Was it the Charlie Captain I did this? That's awesome. Oh, Made by Ray, Release the Rose pants. I have to sneeze. Excuse me. All of a sudden, the allergies really kicked up here really bad. Like my poor daughter had to she was on her way to a coffee shop to finish some schoolwork. And she said she had an allergy attack as soon as she got out of the car and she had to go home. Like she couldn't see. She had like mascara streaming down her face, eyes watering. She said she had to sit in the car for forever. I was like, wow. And my cat, he gets allergies too. It's kind of funny. He gets little, you know, his eyes really show it. I'm not really prone to allergies, but since I moved here, I am. Because we're surrounded by orchards. So other than your failed ginger jeans. Oh, Christy, you're the one who sewed the yoke upside down, right? How do you feel about going back and fixing those? I have some fail things I'm going to get out soon and do on camera and just kind of troubleshoot them. Sometimes I have to rage quit on it and like be like, I never want to see your face again. And then eventually it just pops into my head and I get my seam ripper out and I'll just pull off the entire waistband. You know what I mean? I have both those notifications happening 15 minutes apart, and I know 15 minutes didn't just pass between them. So, all right, let's see here. Kind of want to trim some of these threads here. I think like some of these little threads you can safely pull. Like say you finish your French seam and they're poking through the finished on the outside, the finished French seam. I think some of these you can safely pull and it's not going to be a problem because you're just pulling the edge, right? It just makes me nervous, like everybody makes them nervous, because you don't want to pull that one little piece of fabric thread fiber and it be the one that makes, you know, like shows like a run in your fabric, you know, and then you have like the printing is off, and you guys know what I mean, right? Yeah, the yoke, yeah, exactly. I don't know. Lisa says it's on sale, Carol. But I think because of Memorial Day and the end of Me Made May, there are a lot of pattern sales happening right now. I think I can get this a little narrower. These scissors are not ideal for doing this, by the way. It looks like I'm like taking little bites out of it. They're just too short. All right. All right, now for the moment of truth. I need to look up a tutorial on how to do this like perfectly the first time. Sergers are too loud, aren't they? I kind of admit, like sometimes, oh, it's on sale at the Indie Sew website, Carol. Yeah, so Lisa says that maybe it's Indie Sew that's having a pattern sale as well. So there you go. That's like a lot of pattern companies if it's not just Greenline. All right, let's see here. Oh, I should have ironed this. I'm gonna iron this, you guys. Otherwise, I don't think I'm gonna make it. Just a second, sorry. So much dress. Is everything on sale on Indie Sew? Or is it just certain companies? Or I need to check out that website. Oh, that's right. They're celebrating 5 years. There you go. Just doing the fussy part of the pocket around the curve. Okay, that was the most feeble ironing that I've done because it wouldn't heat up fast enough. So right here, this is where I knew I'd have some issues. I have to remember, do I do there? Do I clip it? Is that what I do? Someone watch my past streams? Oh, so a new iron. I might be getting one too. I really love Rowentas. So the thing that I look for in an iron, so see where, this is where my pocket went around, came up, and then went back down my side seam. So I'm just clipping into this little point right here. That's what I'm doing right now. And I'm gonna trim this too. So the things I look for in an iron are, I like it to be heavy. Definitely do steam. And I like a sharp point at the point of the iron, or as sharp as you can get. And I want to make sure, but I want to make sure the heat gets up to that point too. So it can't be too sharp probably, otherwise the heat won't get there. Those are the things I like, Joy. Simplicity Sales Weekend $1.99 at Joann's. Oh, okay. I was just there. You wish the water tank was big. Yeah, I feel like I go through the water a lot too. Yeah, and get as high wattage as possible. Okay, good. Yeah, so because I've been thinking like of upping my iron game, but I think I'm not going to. And I have two of this exact same iron, and I think I got it at Target because I could not find one anywhere. So I have a Rowenta Professional. So this is my pet peeves with my iron. I don't like this dial here. It's really hard to do because you have to like reach around the handle to do this. And I feel like it's a little bit counterintuitive to what's on and what's off. But I just always crank it up to the highest one. And then you have to tilt it to turn it on. But look at, this is really nice. I really love this, the way you put the water in here. It snaps shut. So I feel like it spills less. And it's got a steam button and a spray button. I think my spray button probably isn't working as well because I live in a really high mineral content area because there's volcanoes around here and like visible calcium on everything here. So this is what I have. I really like it. It says it's a 1715 watts max. Anti-calc. It does dump calcium out of it, and maybe that's its little method. So like they think this is a good sharp point. It's pretty good actually. I do find it because it narrows right here, and then you can really get in there, you know. So I really like it, and it's heavy. The reason I like heavy is because otherwise you tend to push your iron, like you feel like that's gonna iron it better. And when it's heavier, I think it makes you not do that as much, which is better for your hands. I talk about my hands a lot, you guys, because I really did have some really serious hand issues a few years ago, and it was devastating for me because I use my hands like everybody in the world, but I like couldn't imagine life without doing all the things I was doing. Like I couldn't even hold a book in bed, you know, like that's how bad it was. So if I couldn't read, then you know that I like the fists were coming out. I was gonna figure out how to get my hands back. So anything that makes you stay relaxed, especially through your upper shoulders while you're doing it, I feel like I'm a big fan of that. Heavy is good. It also feels sturdier, but when it falls on the ground, which, you know, don't drop it, but I do, jump out of the way. That's my tip for the day. Okay, where's my pocket? Oh, it's a lot of dress. Here it is. Okay, so I clipped it. Let's turn it back to the other side now. And I actually Googled that recently. So this isn't right. I didn't do this right here. This is the bottom. I Googled that like a few months ago, like finding a good iron. And I did find some interesting information. Someone had done an Instagram post. I'm just clipping my seam allowance here right now. I'm just trying to see. I know I'm not going to hurt anything by doing that. So I was just kind of seeing if that will relieve this. I know this trick, and I can't think of what it is right now for the life of me. What did I do wrong here? Someone had posted that they did a review of irons, and then they just on their Instagram said, "Oh, you know, by the way, oh, I see what's wrong here. What happened here? What the heck? Did I like, okay, I don't know what that is. I have a little loop-de-loop there. My needle always stops down. How did that happen? But yeah, someone had posted like, oh, we did this review of irons a long time ago. And just a reminder, here you go. And so I actually was like, oh, I'm kind of interested in this. So I looked it up. And I thought the information was pretty good, but I wouldn't stick to what, like they really complained about how fast their iron heated up, and my iron heats up really fast, so I was kind of surprised that that was an issue for them at all, honestly. What's the chi iron? I've never heard of that. I don't know what that little whoop-de-doo stitching was. Like, I actually think I just took out an extra stitch, so I'm gonna make sure I got this. All right, let's trim to that point again. I've never heard of the chi iron. That sounds relaxing. Oh yeah, I want to go this way, okay. I'm sure someone's watching this video on the playback and is shouting at the thing, "You're supposed to do this!" I'm sorry, forgot how. All right, so that's working, and that's working now, except I have a little nip right there. Okay, so now I'm gonna sew my French seam. I try and line up my pocket opening seam right, stack them right on top of each other. And I'm going to go just straight down alongside this little seam and stop. And then I'm going to start up again here. I know I shouldn't have probably left that open, but I was confused. I'm going to shut it. Yeah, I just did a really bad pocket hack here. Not proud of that. I'll probably go back and fix that at some point. I like my pockets to be clean finished on the inside. Otherwise my hand fiddles with it. Stack my seam back on top of itself. Go up just past that seam. I actually have to go a little further because I need to sync up with the side seam. That's right. Plus, this is the real seam allowance. That's the real seam allowance. All right. Back on track. Oh, I didn't know, I don't know that flat iron either. Can you tell? I one time wanted to experiment with my hair, and I was like, maybe I want a flat iron, and my mom bought me one for Christmas a really long time ago. So I didn't pick out my own flat iron, and it works really good. And my sister said, that iron's really great. I want one too. So she got it. And I figured, oh, she must know what a bad flat iron is, and she liked mine, so it must be a good one. So when it finally died, I bought it the same one. I didn't even research it. Okay, let's look at it from the outside. The real test. Oh, except for all that. Oh, because I got really narrow right there. What the heck? Why did I get so narrow there? Gotta stick with your seam allowance. Except for I have a nip right there. I'll I'm gonna have to fix that somehow. But I have a pocket. That's great. Okay, look at all this. Look at all this dress. So good. It's so long. So exciting. Let's put the bodice on. Oh, I need to do, no, wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. I was like, wait, I shouldn't have sewed my side seam on my bodice, but I didn't. Hi, Kirby. Hi, Nancy. How's it going? Welcome. Let's see, wrong sides together. I'm French seaming the waist seam too. Let's see how it lines up first. That's my center front. Yep. I am moving right along. I pre-sewed some of my French seams. I'm just making sure, I'm walking it around. It was so many seams with the French seam skirt that there's lots of areas for misalignment. So, and it looks like the front is a little bigger, the skirt. So, yeah, I think you're right, Nancy. So now that I have it under the needle, now I can kind of look at it. Okay, so my dart's pressed towards the center back, and it looks like, do these seams line up? Oh, nice. The seams line up to the darts. There's a double notch right there. Perfect. Let's look at this. The seam matches there. This is when it seems like seams are getting a little off. Okay, no, it looks good. Good. I got up to the center. All right, so I'm going to do a 1/4 inch first. It's a smooth seam. This is just the front of the back. Let's get rid of this. A little bit of my seam showing through the French seam. This is the I'm trying to decide what my front and back is for sure, so I know which way to press my seams. So this is the front, this is the back. That goes towards, goes that way. Okay, yeah. Cool. Oh, I don't know, Liza. I wouldn't rewatch this French seams pocket part. See ya, Carol. Yeah, I kind of didn't do too well on that. I think I'm gonna look for a few different versions on how to do that, because I know how to do that and I can't think of how to do it. You know what I mean? Like I don't really think my method is that great. The tricky part about doing it is that to remember, if you go to do it and you're like, I'm going to try and figure this out myself, is remember that when you do your first pass of your seam, you're not taking up the full seam allowance. I know that goes without saying, but when you go back to do it, it's really easy to try and line up to the stitching you already have near the pocket, because you forget the pocket is falling prey to that French seam allowance as well. You forget how to do something, Nancy? Oh no, yeah. I mean, it's like we're trying to keep a lot in our head. This is I hear pins falling out over here. I need these pins. I probably don't anymore, actually, now that I've got my skirt together. This is my pocket. See, this pocket already was a little janky because I should have cut it tall enough to go into the waist seam. That way the pocket would always stay towards the front. But I cut this out of scrap. I literally hardly had enough to do a pocket, sadly. This seam needs to go towards the front, but usually it would go towards the back. So I'm going to push the back one to the back, or the bodice to the back and the front, the skirt to the front. Oh, the French seam. Oh no, that happens to me. That right there was because it's exactly what I'm saying, is that I came down from the waist along the side seam, and I started to go over towards the pocket, trying to line up to that pocket, right? But what I needed to do is keep that seam allowance going, because what I think what it is now that we're troubleshooting this, when I first sewed the pocket to the skirt, I needed to do the full 5/8 seam, and I didn't. I treated it like it was part of the French seam, and I didn't sew it like it was a French seam, because you can see I still have some raw edges in there, which I don't really care about. You do see raw edges on pockets in ready to wear even. So, and to do the French seam there, you just can end up with so much bulk at the top and bottom of your pocket opening that it might be a problem later, so I wanted it to be low profile. So I just left it one seam, but I didn't use the full seam allowance. And so that meant when I came back down to do my final side seam, I had to go further in than the original pocket to side seam was sewn. Does that make sense? Did I lose you guys? I think I know exactly what to do now, especially now that I've verbally kind of went through it. It helps for me to talk things through. Okay, here's my center front. Here's my center front. Okay, that's what I want. So if you go back and watch that, Eliza, and you want to sew that, remember that when you attach the pocket to the skirt for the first seam, use the full seam allowance. And then I don't think you're going to get into the pickle that I got into. And I don't know where that whoop-de-doo came from, that little loop of stitching. That was really odd. I've never seen that before. Okay, this compress the center front seam compress any direction you like. It's lining up to the center of the bodice. It better line up to the center of the bodice. It's like 1/8 of an inch different right now. Who's lining up? You're lining up. Or no dessert for you. I had my last bit of ice cream cake last night from my birthday. I was so glad the last piece was still in there, because I forgot about it, and then I was like, oh no, I bet someone ate it. Someone meaning my daughter, but she didn't. She's learning. Yeah, exactly, Nancy. I think that's exactly what I'm doing. Wrong on that. I'm not trying to figure it out on scrap fabric, you know, that's my other problem. Alrighty. Good job, kiddo. Exactly. She has definitely not always known that imaginary rule exists. I used to be really possessive of treats. Like, my thing was that, say I had a special treat in the fridge, like I don't know, a single slice of cake I got or something, whatever it is, something that was mine. My rule is that I get the first bite of it and I get the last bite of it. I'll share a little bit, but I get the first and the last bite. Because there's nothing like thinking it's still in the fridge and you go in there and it's gone, you know? So I implemented that rule, and I kind of explained to her, I was like, look, you know, the thing is, like, I really, right, Nancy? Either way. I really want, you know, like, if I'm expecting it to be in there, I really want to see it in there, you know? And so this is what she started doing. She literally started leaving me one bite. Which then I realized this rule sucks, because I want more than a bite. Like the one bite just makes me want more. Right? And I think it started happening to her because her taste buds are changing and they're becoming more like her dad's. And he will eat something of hers and he doesn't know it's hers. And she'll be really bummed. And I was like, huh, how's that feel? You know? All right, here's my waist seam. All right, I'm going to press this. We only have the zipper and the hem left. Wow. That's great. Almost done, guys. Hi. Yeah, you hi. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Trevor can go get his own treat. Ooh, Wixton Shift or Loo Box. Which one's the Loo Box, Eliza? You hide things in the bottom of the vegetable drawer. I hide things behind the receptacle of the ice, you know, like the ice bucket in the top of the freezer. I hide it behind there. But, you know, not everything can go in the freezer. But nobody looks in the freezer. I have like 4 hiding spots. I have some that I'll forget about though. And then like 4 months later, I'll be getting that one like tray out and I'll be like, oh, darn, here's all the Halloween candy. And then I purposely got one of the things out in front of my daughter so she thought she knew where my hiding spot was. Yeah. She didn't think I had more than one. When it comes to treats, you guys, I've figured things out. My mom used to have this little Tupperware container. Where am I at on the dress? I've already done this, the front. Oh, here it is. Okay. I just want to make sure my seam lines up. It lined up on the first pass, but I want to make sure it continues to line up. My mom used to have this little like Tupperware container, square. It's like pale blue, and then a little white lid. And she used to keep peanut M&Ms in there. And she had a little note like, "Do not take my peanut M's." And here's the deal: like at the time, I didn't really know how to vocalize the fact that, but I can't just go to the store and get a treat. So why can't you share? You know. But my daughter can vocalize those things, and she was like, "But I don't get to pick out a treat," you know. And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. Then come to the grocery store with me," you know. But so she beat me to that. It looks like the wicks in both the cuff sleeve, like the Callie. Ooh, that sounds cute. That's funny, Lisa. He hid your gifts there? Oh my gosh. I don't know about that. Ooh, come on. Line up there. I just realized my edge will be raw at my my zipper. Oh, so that's a little bit off. What is that? Is that oil? I'm going to take this out right through here, and I'm going to sew it from the skirt side so that this, because see, the skirt is pushed over a little bit off center, and so I'm going to sew it from the direction that'll push it the direction I want it to go. Because, you know, sometimes that's all it is. Oh, you like, yeah, my mom loves Dove chocolate too. I'm not a big chocolate person, so that wasn't something she had to hide from me. I really like chocolate and nuts though, like peanuts and almonds. That's about it. And I also like milk chocolate, which is hugely convenient, like good milk chocolate, because no one really likes it, you know. Yeah, the blue box. I know the name of that, but I can't picture it. And I love my Callie shirt dress sleeve. So here, this is my personal opinion. I have never made a Wixton pattern. Wait, have I made one Wixton? Well, I made the Howery jacket. I made the Wixton Howery. All right, so I take that back. But the one that she's really famous for is the washi dress, right? And so the washi dress, in my opinion, is not for a curvy person unless you want the Empire or Empire look, you know, with a high seam. That dress would make me look pregnant, like that. So, and I find a few of her designs are like that because her body is perfect for that silhouette, but mine isn't. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not for my silhouette. I'm not technically in the curvy, what people call the curvy size range, but I am definitely curvy, like literally. I have definitely hourglass, you know? Okay, so. See if that worked. Yep, that worked perfect. Look at that. Except for whatever that oil is there. Yeah, see, Nancy, I have these little threads. But like I said, I think for the most part on this one, I can tell that that is along the cut edge, so I can pull them. But, you know, some you don't want to because you don't want to get a run in your fabric print. Hubba hubba. Let's try it on. Let's see. Try it on over overalls. I wish I would take my glasses off before I do this in front of you guys. All right, Ida. Good night. Yeah. Tell us if you find a good one. Good hiding place. Oh, washi dress is made by Ray. Okay, take everything back I said. Thank you, Christina. You're at the Wix thing, exactly, okay. Yeah, what do you think? Up close. Here's the bust seam. A little bit high on me, but I think it'll work. What do you guys think? Do you think this looks a lot like the Charlie caftan? Oh, I'm gonna rip it. I have to take it off like a guy takes a shirt off. I heard a little bit of ripping, popping. Hopefully it's just a seam. Oh yeah, it did kind of rip a little bit. Eek! See, I shouldn't have sewn this underarm right here. But at least it made it so I could try it on. So yeah, I'm pleased with this, but look, I have a little rip now. Whee! Yeah, I know this 11 a.m. time is kind of tough for some of you Scandinavians and Europe area. It's a little late for you guys. Sorry about that. My hair I can feel it feels funny. I'm getting way too comfortable with you guys. I didn't even put mascara on today. I don't for the surprise streams either. Okay. Dang. This is these light weights, man, and back tacks. Hard to take out. All right, so there's my little... rip. Make sure I have to go include that in my seam allowance. All right. This is looking good. Other than that, and my pocket failures. Yeah, right. The full coverage, but it's on the side. Figure skimming. You can't tell at this distance. Yeah, I know it's a lot, not very detailed. I have pretty good webcams, but like anything above what I have gets into like $700 per camera, and that's not going to happen. Here we go. Yeah. Sometimes I don't like it when a dress is so good you want to make another one and really hone it, because it's like, how many do you need that? You can't tell. What couldn't you tell at that distance? Like where the line is maybe? So I think this would be a really nice one to line the bodice. Get rid of the stitching. Mine, yours isn't going to have this, Betsy, because I lined my midriff. All right, so let's put in the zipper. But I need to figure out how I'm going to finish my seam. Need to figure out how I'm going to finish my seam. Like, what if I bound it? Oh, I can't. Oh. You can't tell. Yeah, you can't tell when I'm wearing it. That's why I'm like, it gives me eyes. Yeah. Okay, so should have thought of this. I should have thought of this. I do have interfacing for the zipper area. So I don't really feel like I need to finish that. It's really just beyond down here. And I think there I will probably be able to manage a French seam for part of it. Is that true? Ooh, I don't know, guys. Maybe I would like to bind the bottom part. Look how that's a really long zipper. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, that's pretty. That's the best color I could come up with, by the way. Pretty bad, huh? I was like, oh yeah, that'll match. And then I got home, I was like, wow, how did I think this was the color of my dress? But in the package and in those lights, you know, so. All right, so let's see here. I think I'm going to wait to sew. Actually, I'm going to add my interfacing right now to this opening. So I have a little piece of interfacing 3/4 of an inch wide that I'm going to iron best I can. I'll probably have to like clip it and overlap it to make the curve here. I'm going to do it to the wrong side to stabilize the opening where the zipper is. And I'm following the tutorial on YouTube. It's Angela Wolf is the woman speaking, and she gives you a really excellent invisible zipper tutorial by Blueprint. So if you look up Angela Wolf Blueprint Invisible Zipper, you'll find it. She explains it so well, and I don't feel like she does any hidden voodoo. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's like totally, it works. So let me just iron on this interfacing, because I couldn't do that when my waist seam wasn't together. Let me grab my scissors. Okay, let's see here. All right, so I have one side in. Oops, I kind of got it on top of itself a little bit. This dress is going to be so comfortable to wear. Let's see. Really need that iron cam back, don't I? I need to like play a video for you guys while I do things like that. Or music or something. Okay, let's do this. So I add interfacing to the edge, and I kind of clipped it right here, and then it kind of ironed onto itself there, which I'm just gonna leave. I'm actually maybe gonna trim it off a little bit so it doesn't add any bulk, because this is the waist seam. Because it kind of curved a little bit, so I just slashed into it in a couple spaces so it could overlap itself. And then it just ironed onto itself, so let me iron this a little better. This is just to stabilize the seam. And if you're doing a sheer fabric, she suggests using a pinking shear along this edge. And I don't really know why she says, but it makes it less visible on the outside. Yes, ironing, hold music, exactly. Elevator music. So I'm kind of curious why she says that, because I'm kind of curious how that works, you know. I haven't done this on a sheer fabric yet. And maybe it just helps blend it in. That's probably what it is. It's probably so that, because where she puts the edge of the pinking is on this side. And I imagine it's because on the outside, because it's not like a stiff line right here, the pinking shear probably softens it. And so your eye doesn't go to it in the sheer fabric, you know, with that elevator vibe. Yeah. Yeah, I need to figure out how the copyright free music thing works. I don't even know if I am allowed to, like, oh shoot, this is an iron, her video on my channel. I don't make any money doing this, so I feel like it's okay, but I don't know, you know, if I'm benefiting from it, from her content. But I know in the gaming world, people do it all the time. So there's that. All right, so the first thing you do, I already ironed my zipper open, and so one of the important things about the invisible zipper is this line of stitching right here. Can you see? I have autofocus off, but there is these lines on the tape of the zipper, and there's one right here. That's where you want to stitch. And then when this isn't ironed open, because I have it ironed open, it's going to fold over it and then pull your fabric on the outside around, and it'll come together and look invisible. So the weird thing about invisible zippers is it's really easy to put them in backwards because you can't see. So this is the right side of the zipper, and you want to put it right sides together on your dress. Line up the this edge, and then you just pin it on one time. And this is just so you don't do it backwards. That's all. And you'll see her comments. People still do it backwards. So they're like, even though she really explained that, I still did it backwards. Yeah, exactly. I need a quartet. God, that would be so distracting. All right, I need to switch to my zipper foot. And if you have an invisible zipper foot, which some machines sell them, you can use that because it has nice little grooves on the bottom of it. And same with your zipper foot. You can use your zipper foot as well. I don't have the kind you guys have because I can't change my needle position. So what I have is a very slender foot to pass as that. All right, and then I think what I'm going to do too is, okay, here's my notch right there. I'm going to try and do this the way she does the bottom and the top of the, my studio's so fancy, of the zipper so that it's seamless top and bottom. So let's see if I remember all of her tips while I do this. So I'm going to stitch This is what I learned last time too, is that I really had to still kind of be on top of the zipper teeth with my zipper foot from my foot. And see, like it's already trying to push it off. I may need to switch to my regular foot. Is that what I did, you guys? I think I need to switch to my regular foot. Let's try it. Because then my regular foot's gonna hold the zipper off to the side. I can always switch back if I don't think that's it. I have to make sure mine's really tight, otherwise it can come off while I'm sewing, and that's scary. Yeah, so I think this is better. As long as my zipper teeth has been ironed and pressed open, and I can kind of have that as a helper to get the presser foot to hold it down. So now I'm stitching on... My foot wants to stitch on the zipper. Oh, okay, this is too close. This is too close. Let's see. What did I do, you guys? What did I do last time? I'm going to see if my zipper pull goes past it. Yeah, see, it's really tight. But see, look, it's already looking invisible. So it illustrates that it is really important to be really close to the teeth, but you don't want to be too close. Because what you'll end up having is your zipper the zipper head will eventually wear the fabric over and over right there. Nah, it's not good. So let's just try and get this. I need a better zipper foot. Like one that works better. See, this one's grabbing it and going too close. I can see it now. Yeah, I can see it now. So let's try, I'm gonna try the zipper foot again. All right. I'm going to leave a few stitches in so I don't get it in upside down. It'll be a lot easier in a home machine. You can also buy at the fabric store invisible zipper foot kit, and it says it works on most sewing machines. I bought that kit, and maybe I was doing something wrong at the time, but I couldn't get it to work on my Bernina. This is not my Bernina, you guys. This is my Juki Industrial. I did not buy it for this. I knew that. It wouldn't work for that. Let's get rid of some of this. We don't need that. Thread vomit. I like to call that thread vomit. It had two back tacks, one on top of the other. And when the machine can't really move really smoothly, and it gets kind of stuck on top of itself. You could do that, Nancy. I've thought about that, but I feel like you run the risk of that showing. You know? And stitch witchery doesn't wash away, right? So it might add too much stiffness there, and then it might not roll. I don't know though. Okay. All right, so I'm the boss. I'm just reminding myself. And then it fell off a little bit. See, I think, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stitch this on here, just on the edge here. I'm just going to stitch it down. That way, it can't wiggle, it can't go this way as bad. The whole zipper, right? Because this last time when I did this with you guys, I got it on there and then I was like, oh, this isn't invisible at all. And then I stitched it again, and that's when I was able to get a lot closer, and it was a lot easier to do that. And I think that's what, you know, what helped was because the fact that it was already stitched down. So I'm just stitching it down. You want your opening to be about 2 inches shorter than your zipper. Mine's a lot shorter than that, or longer than that, so. All right. Okay. Oh yeah, this is already a lot easier. Except I'm still having some issues. I feel like I can get closer. Let's see. Let's just test it out. Yeah, see? That? Not close enough. Right? Or wait. Yeah. Wait. Have I done up here? Wait. Oh, it's okay up here. Okay, so that's okay. Let's see what's up here. So that's just too close. I know that's too close. That's going to cause problems. I'm going to take it out. I want to get this right, but I don't have the right foot. Maybe I should order a invisible zipper foot for my home machine and do these on my home machine. Maybe I have one. Oh, yours is super narrow? Hers isn't in the video. She doesn't use it, by the way, in the video. And I think it's because she knows that not everybody has one. She uses a regular zipper foot. Not this kind, but a regular one. Wash away Wonder Tape for zippers. Oh, interesting. Might have something there. Okay, holding down the zipper teeth with my fingernails is working pretty good. What's up with my tension? Why does my tension look like that? Uh-oh. Wait. Get back there. Oh, this is hard. Oh, that's too close. If you are going to sew invisible zippers, you guys, get the foot. Get the foot. I really like invisible zippers. And if you have the right tool, they're easier to put in than a centered or keyhole, whatever you call, or a lapped. But I'm making it look like a huge struggle right now because I just don't have the right foot. I'm going to try my other one more time now that it's been stitched down. I just feel like that's going to be too close, that right there. And I think that's too far away. You know? Look how ugly it looks. My beautiful dress. This dress won't be too tight, which is good. Because I find that if it's too tight with the invisible zipper, then it also puts a strain on the fabric right there. But any zipper would strain. All right, let's try this foot one more time. Now that I have it stitched down a little bit. See if that'll help. I literally only have 3 feet for this machine. I have a Teflon foot, zipper foot, and this one. Okay, this is going better. Yeah. Over there. All right, moment of truth. Let's see where I need to fix. This is too close right here. I keep thinking that's the stop, so we need to fix that. So right here, and a little bit right there too, and at the bottom. And this is too close right here. You come for the sewing and you stay for the agony, right? Yeah, I've heard they're really great too. Yeah. So my machine doesn't have a traditional zipper foot, Christy, because I can't move the needle position to the left or right. It's fixed. So my foot is just a narrow foot where the needle still goes in the middle. It doesn't go on either side of it. So I think what I've learned now is that if I stitch down my zipper first, which is right here, I did kind of a far away stitch from where I want it. If I do that first and then go back and stitch it again, then I'm having more luck with it not going too close to the zipper or too far away. It's not ideal still. It could be better. It could be better. I wonder if mine has one. That could work. That's a buttonhole foot, I'm pretty sure. This is the zipper foot my machine came with. That would work. The heck's that? Oh, folder. Those are my feet. Snack break. I know, my stomach just started growling. How'd you know? But it's my lunchtime. So, all right. Let's see here. Ew, look at all this. Ew. Nothing like interfacing to make it look icky. Okay. I'm going to resew this right here. Okay, and then right here, I can see where I need to go. I feel like that line that I was showing you where to stitch, it's better that you stitch to the left of that line. Yours was white plastic. Yeah, because was it the one you bought in the like package? Like the temporary one? I had one like that and then I threw it away. I was like, okay, yeah, this doesn't work. And then right here. Oh, you guys, I have something crazy to tell you. Okay, you know on my Amelia dress, the one that I sew a lot, that's by Green Bee Patterns, and it's on the bias. And the other day I wore it. It's the floral with the black daisies on it, and it has the girl. Okay. So I was at the fabric store the other day, and we were talking about, this woman wants to make it, and I said, okay, here's my pet peeve is that it's really hard to reach the zipper because it's like right on my shoulder blades. And the gal there that does a lot of the garment sewing classes, she was like, I can't remember what happened. She had an issue, and she said, I just sewed it shut without a zipper. I was like, well, how do you get it on and off? She goes, I can get it on and off my head. I went home and I took off my dress without unzipping it. The Bodice makes it so I can take the dress on and off without zipping and unzipping. You can make that dress if you don't have shoulder issues and it's not too tight. You might try it first. You might be able to make that dress without a zipper. Oh, it came with your brother. Okay, yeah. So it's a nice plastic foot. Yeah. Like the one you buy in the package where they're like, here's an invisible zipper foot package that'll work with most machines. It's pretty cheesy. It's pretty cheesy plastic. All right, this isn't pretty, but I think it's working. Definitely need to be invisible since it's fuchsia. Where's that sticky spot? Right there. Right there. It's funny, it doesn't look any different right there. Oh, maybe it just needs to be working in. All right, I'm gonna leave that. Okay, let's do our other side. So one thing right now I'm gonna make sure is that all my seams line up at the bodice, so that when they go to the back, that the waist seam lines up. I know, right? Isn't that crazy? That the zipper. So that navy blue one I wore yesterday, I got that on and off without unzipping it. Isn't that great? Oh, that's awesome, Christy. Same with these, like these overalls. I put an elastic back on these, and they have the buttons, and these are really snug. They're not very flattering, but they're really comfortable. I can get these on and off without unbuttoning the sides, and they're pretty high up. And it's not hard, you know. I'm pretty hippie too. Okay, so I'm lining up. I really want to make sure the side seam is a little less noticeable if your side seams don't match, but hey, let's try and get them to match, right? I will make another without a zipper. I might even just take out the zipper in those. You know what's even neater is that you could put the back on the fold right there without a center back seam, and that would be even easier to get on and off. It just means that if you wanted some stripes to go like this at the center back seam, they wouldn't do that. It would be like this. But you could leave the center back seam for some stability, but at the same time, if you wanted it to be a little bit stretchier to make sure that it's easy to get on and off, you could just take out that center back seam, put it on the fold. Right? So that's kind of cool. Sewing experiments. All right, let's line all this up. So I was listening on my way to work on Saturdays. The TED radio hour is always on the radio when I come here like by 10. I try and get here an hour before. And I've mentioned the TED radio hour to you before, you guys. And I like it because it's like snippets of a bunch of TED Talks, right? And then he'll have a theme and he'll kind of link a bunch of TED Talks together. But today, I missed the one before it, but apparently it was about not being a perfectionist. You know, make it about the process rather than the end result. Well, then his next guest was completely the opposite. He's like, okay, so he introduced him. He's like, okay, now you heard that, you know, like, obviously you feel really differently than that person does. You know, you feel like perfectionism should be the way, what we're striving for. And so I was like, oh, this is interesting. I'm kind of interested because I don't really feel like perfection is, I feel like perfection is a lot of pressure, right? And he gave a very good argument. Wait, I need to have my zipper zipped up. For why perfection is what we should be achieving. Because he's like, you know, you wouldn't want like, okay, oh yeah, I did know Roku has a TED channel. I've never watched it though. That's so funny. I have it, but I've never watched it. I need to like do this. I just want to do that so bad. And, you know, he's like, okay, so I just want to preface, like, I'm not advocating perfectionism. Like, you guys know that I don't do that here. But at the same time, like, we're dealing with sewing. We're not dealing with lives. And so that was part of his point, because he was a UPS driver trainer. And he was like, we can't go for 99%. That means like someone dies. I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. He's like, and if a doctor's went for 99%, that would mean like over 4 million prescriptions were written wrong every year, and 11 newborns were handed to the wrong parents every day. So I was like, okay, I get that. But I did kind of liked his like philosophy on why striving for perfection is a good idea, because he's like, you know, that's how we became a good society, was that we perfected things and we got better and better at them. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of true, you know. So I thought it was really interesting. It was all about perfection and not. So I feel like, you know, having a teenager, you think about these things a lot, because it's like, okay, she's afraid to fail, you know? So then we encourage them like, oh, don't worry, just try, just do your best, you know? And that's good enough. And he's like, that's not good enough though. Why not strive for perfect? He's like, you're going to make mistakes, but strive for perfect. So he's not saying you might achieve a perfect, but striving for it's what's important. Anywho, that's my philosophy for the day. All right, so I have matched my waist seams. Right now, that's the most important thing. So your dress has notches on it where the zipper goes. At this point, those notches are a guide, because your dress already has so much sewn on it that your waist seam is more important to match. So here's my waist seam. I've pinned it, the right sides to the right side, just at the waist seam right there. And I'm actually going to look at the bottom here, because this is kind of important too, because your zipper, when you sew the invisible zipper, needs to stop at the exact same place on both sides, the stitching, okay? So she says, you know, make a fabric marker across your stitching. You probably can't see mine. Here's my stitching right here. So I'm going to make a little, I don't have a fabric marker. So I'm going to do that. And all that tells me is that my stitching needs to stop there. It doesn't tell me if my dress matches up to it. So I'm just going to do that now. And hope it does. This fabric is so lightweight that it probably could draw up as I sew, you know. It's perfect enough. I like that. It's perfect enough. Yeah. Yeah, that's different than saying it's good enough. You know. But I do feel like I really like to encourage people that done is better than not done. Done is better than perfect. Because in sewing, you cannot learn unless you've sewn it and you don't know how it fits, right? So you have to sew bad things to like get to the point where you have good things. All right, so I do not like having to sew on this side, going up the zipper. So that's why I also needed to make sure that this matched, because now I'm coming from the bottom of the zipper going up, whereas on my first pass I did it the other direction. I don't know how she did that. How did she do that? She did it from the side. Maybe I should just suck it up, Buttercup, huh? I need to suck it up, Buttercup. And I'm going to, what's my plan? I'm going to sew it, just sew it to the fabric first. Right? But it's going to go under my machine head, which, you know, I'm not a big fan of that. You know? Hope I don't run out of bobbin. This is going to help me also determine if I got my waist seam to match. All right, I also ended up pushing my waist seam down, you know, instead of up, because I always like pressing my waist seam going up on the bodice. The reason I didn't do that was because of all the stitching at the center front. It was going to fight it. So done is better than perfect, yeah. Yeah, right, Eliza? Yeah. Exactly, or better than perfect. Yeah, I think you learn a lot about that in production sewing when you have a business and you're selling things, because like I sold things that weren't cheap, you know, they were really high quality, expensive things, and they weren't perfect. Like they weren't everybody's idea of perfect, you know, but at the same time, I had my limits, what wouldn't pass, you know. Oh, right, Eliza, I've heard that before in cross stitch too. That if you look at historic stitching, there's like, that'll be like a beautiful whatever hand stitch picture of flowers, and then like a little black dot somewhere that doesn't go, you know, and it's because that's what they do. They make sure that it's not perfect. They don't want to compete with their God. All right. Okay, so we've learned a lot. So we need to attach this. I need to, with my machine, attach the zipper first with a stitch and then go back and stitch it. And I need to use my regular foot. So you might have a different experience when you do your invisible zippers. But if you allow yourself the time to experiment and then write it down, don't expect yourself to remember that stuff, you guys. You can have your... Okay. Did I start this? I went all the way up. Okay. And go all the way up. All right. With my truth. It's like, I know it's going on forever, right? I think they said 20 to 22 inches, and I think the notches are only 18 inches apart, maybe 16. I bought a 20 to 22 because I didn't have many options there. Sorry, I'm lost in my dress again. Here we go. Here we go, okay. Okay, moment of truth. Wait. So did you see what happened there? Doesn't this look like this is how the zipper is going to go up? So don't start ripping it out until you flip that like that. Okay. Still have that little catch at the top. Hey. I don't like the puckers in it. I mean, I added interfacing, so I don't know why I get the puckers. Ooh, look at my waist seam. It's perfect. That's incredible. Except for this thread right here. All right. Okay. So these, I can do a, like, I see how these stitches are not straight across from each other. So they need to be in order to get that like invisible finish at the bottom, you know? So I need to go like a couple stitches lower on this side. So now she says switch to your regular presser foot. Yeah, I'm hoping it just needs pressing. And when it's on me, the weight of the skirt's gonna pull down, you know? This is called the fingers crossed sewing stream. So fingers crossed. Why does it feel like I just have so much dress? Kind of want to hem this sleeve before I do the side seam. You know, it's so tempting. I keep getting oil on it. I need to sew more. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on there. Okay. Can I do a French seam? I'm sure it's possible. But can I do it? Exactly, it is exhausting. Thanks for sticking with me. All right. Let's see. I'm thinking about it. So the way she does the bottom is you pull out this tape, but you can't really do that on the top. And then you sew just on the inside of your original stitching. So that's how she gets rid of that. How she makes it look really seamless. I'm kind of tempted to not monkey around with the French seam. But I don't really want a raw edge there either. All right, because the fabric's so thin. I'm going to try it. Let's try it. It's my dress. Let's try a French seam here. It's cotton. It's just a cotton voile, Christy. I ripped it when I tried it on because I had a little bit of stitching on the underarm. That's what happens when you try things on over your overalls, you know? So I'm doing wrong sides together right now. I'm looking at that rip, trying to see if I can go a little bit past it. Let's see. All right, I'm going to trim this. All right. Where's the, there we go. This just might work. I'm not sure how good it'll be being invisible on the top. I don't know the trick for that because on the bottom you get to pull the zipper tape kind of out of the way. So let's see how I do. And let's incorporate my rip into the side seam there. It looks, oh yeah, it's okay. You know, the teeth are darker, so it's fine, because that's kind of what will show sometimes. It's better than beige, which was what I would have done probably. Okay, I've almost got it, I think. Kind of. Look at that. So let's see. Can I get this little bit of tape in there? So, okay, so if you're doing this and you haven't started yet or you haven't gotten to this point yet, this is what I would do differently next time. I wouldn't have stitched down the top portion of my zipper tape above the stop of the zipper when I attached it to the dress. That's where I went wrong. So, because then you can pull that tape out of the way when you go to do your last seam. So there you go. That's the trick. All right, let me just get that tape in there. Where is it? It's down here, okay. Not bad. I have a little bit of a pucker right there. So I might work on that. Like it's so minor. It's a little bit it would be a little bit nerve-wracking. So when I'm wearing it, is it gonna show, you know? The head of the zipper matches really nice. Oh wait. Oh yeah, it's Art Gallery Voile winged. Yeah, let's take a break from zipper. Winged, yeah. There you go. By Bonnie Christine. All right, let's do the bottom of the zipper and let's finish this dress because I'm pretty happy with this experiment on doing a French seam on the zipper. I don't think that was too hard at all. So I have a lot of extra zipper down here. Do I leave it? Ooh, I hate all that extra zipper down there. If I take it out, I may end up with a scratchy bit of zipper. But what I could do is bind the bottom edge. So let's do that. Where's my bias? Remember I made some bias? I don't know why I needed so much bias. I'm just gonna bind this little piece of zipper here so that it doesn't scratch me, you know, because it's really scratchy. I actually used to do this a lot for chicken boots too. So let's see if I can remember how I used to do it. I don't need that big of a piece. So I would go like this, right? Oh, maybe I do need a bigger piece. Let's see. So I used to go like this, wrap it around like this, and kind of fold it back on itself. Like that. And then I would pull it down like this. Like that. That usually didn't happen. And then I would just tuck all these ends into the little hole I made. And I would just top stitch across the bottom. And to kind of get it even, I would just pull out this ledge here, like that. Isn't that nice? Did I just redeem myself for all that crazy pocket and zipper stitching? Look at that, nice and soft against me. Okay, now my zipper is shortened. So let's sew it right sides together, or wrong sides together first for the French seam. Let's see, can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? I just did it on the top. Yeah, that was a nice trick, huh? I used to do that on the needle cases. So my needle cases, when they were zippered and when you would open it up, you know, like this, but then there was a zipper tail, because I didn't ever perfect the technique of sewing the zipper flush with the perimeter of the case. I got close, and then I would just have to get back to work, and so I never really got there. It also was a great thing to hold on to open your case up and shut it. So that's how I would do it, because we used a zipper that was by the yard. So it needed to be finished, but it looks nice. All right, so can I do this right sides together here? I'm not sure I can. I'm not sure I can. Why can't I do it on the bottom? Oh, I started from the top and went down. I started from the raw edge and went down, didn't I? I don't want to pucker. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to finish below the zipper, and then I'm going to deal with my French seam. That's what I'm going to do, because I actually really want my zipper to be invisible. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so then you pull your zipper away like this, and you're going to stitch just to the left of it, just like I did on the top, but it's a little more obvious what you're doing here. Started to get hung up. Whew. What's going on with my tension? I feel like it's caught on something. All right, let's see how it looks. Yeah, it looks pretty good. See that? Not too bad. I got my machine did something funny right there. So now I will treat the rest of this, and maybe I will try and do the French seam now, okay? I really need to read a book on the art of French seams, don't I? I use them so much now. I'm gonna clip this. So I'm gonna clip this spot right here. Those right sides or wrong sides together and keep going. We only have hems after this. So exciting. Didn't quite do the right seam allowance when I did that first little thing on the bottom of the zipper. So now I'm having to go by what I just did. I'll show you just a second. Because I was going to end up with a repeat thing of the pocket. Anytime I get to my friend, anytime my French seams interact with other elements, I kind of don't have the game for it, you know? Like, I need to up my game on that. You know, I have this really amazing fine machine sewing techniques book I haven't looked at in a decade. I'm gonna go get it in a second. I have a feeling that she doesn't really cover that kind of thing though, because she's really more like upping your game as far as like cool finishing techniques with trims and stuff like that, but like super special stuff. Really inspiring. You know, and that reminds me about like that TED talk I was talking about with the perfectionism. I was like, you know, he's right. Like, achieving perfection really helps hone your skills. And I did that. I did that for a long time. Like I say, you've heard me say I've gone through phases of doing all kinds of things, right? I wanted to know how to do all of it so that basically so I could say, yeah, I've done that before, you know, to myself, you know? And so if but then it kind of helped me go, oh, I don't really like wedding dress sewing isn't my jam, you know, fancy fabrics isn't my jam. Lots of top stitching, engineering, construction, pieces, articulation, that's my jam. Fitting, those were my jam, you know. So, but doing like the fancy fabrics and the special trims, finishing techniques. I didn't mind finishing techniques. But I also started going, you know, and not everything needs to be couture sewn. So, all right. So let's see. I because this was my seam allowance that I did on the zipper, which is not 5/8 by the way. I have to do this one about the same seam allowance. So I had to do a really narrow first pass. And then I'm going to continue on. I'll actually I'm going to make this a little bigger right here. Because I can, and I can blend it in. Ensure success, right? All right. Ooh, I should have ironed it. Whoops. I'm getting impatient. I'm almost done. Home stretch. Okay. A little uneven right here. That's why I back tacked so high. Let me even out this hem here. It's such a long dress with so much volume. I am not even going to worry about the fact that I am evening it out like that. You know? It's just not much. Oh, right, Rachel? I love doing that. Yeah, binding with ribbon is really hard because there's no stretch to it, you know? Even grosgrain, like grosgrain in the middle kind of feels wiggly, but the edge of it is so fixed. You know, it's kind of like zipper tape. Zipper tape is really wiggly, except the edge is super fixed, you know? So, but I love Bowden. I used to buy mostly only Bowden. Okay, so I'm looking for the back of my dress. It's the hem that won't quit. I really want to go try it on. This is the back of my dress right here. Okay. And I need to know which way my seams go. Okay. This one goes this way. I'm going to do a rolled hem finish. But I need to... I'm going to trim all these little threads with my rotary mat. What is Bowden? Bowden is a British brand, but they sell in the States as well. It's a catalog. I love it. Yeah, I'm trying to... They have children's clothes as well. It's kind of a little bit pricey, but worth it. I still have most of my Bowden clothes. They fit really well. I've never had luck with their bathing suits. But everything else, it's really good. I'm going to use my blade and my mat over there because this one doesn't like these little threads. So I'll be right back. No, manufacturing's not in Great Britain. Yummy mummy. I've never heard of that term. That sounds very British to me. Okay. I need to check my phone, see if the tech guy. Okay, I haven't gotten a text from him yet. I told him, I was like, if you can come like 2-ish, that would be better. He seemed cool with that. It's like a window from 1 to 4. All right. Lost in my dress. All right, so let's see here. I'm looking at which direction the seam allowances were pressed at the waist. So I find when I do rolled hems, especially like on a dress, when I first started sewing dresses, I would have never done a rolled hem. I would have done an invisible hem, and it would have been like 1 or 2 inches wide always. It's a different era now, and that would be kind of a lot of hem on a dress like this. Plus, it's got a slight curve to it. So I do feel like rolled hems can be hit and miss, though. And what I find to work the best is if the whole hem is filled with the hem amount. You know? So, like on a 1-inch hem, you would probably fold 1/4 of an inch and then fold again your 1 inch, right? Because you wouldn't use 2 inches for a 1-inch hem. You can, but it's not very traditional to do that. So on a rolled hem, usually you want to fill the hem up with the width of it. I'm just looking up at my waist seam. Let's see which way this is pressed. I try not to twist my seams. Okay, great. I do have quite a few little fibers poking through my French seams because they were so long and there were so many, and this fabric does do that. So yeah, it's not manufactured in Great Britain, unfortunately. It's kind of why I started getting away from it, because I was like, okay, I'm already in the States, you know, this is kind of decadent. And I started knitting a lot of my own sweaters. I really liked a lot of their little cardigans and things and dresses. I really like their dresses. But so I started sewing again for myself because indie patterns started coming around, and I didn't need so many. But that's what my mom used to always give me, was a gift certificate to Bowdoin for my birthday. Really, Christy? What's your struggle with them? You might be just doing a rolled hem on the wrong spot, and it's not you at all, you know? Okay, this is being pressed this way. Because I just fold it and fold it again, and I just try and look and see what the fabric wants to do, and pulling it. Ironing it first would help you too, if you want. Oh, this is the back seam. So here, goes this way. Oh, do you have a rolled hem foot? Yeah, they're kind of like a binding foot, a binding attachment. Like you have to kind of get them going. Our binding machine was like that, especially when we first got it. And then the things we learned were professionally cut bias helped a lot. And then once we got the hang of it, we could always use our own bias. It was no problem. But we would lose a little at the beginning and the end of every strip if it was hand cut, because you have to get it going. I don't like it when my back tack thread gets sucked into the French seam. There's my coffee spill again. No, I don't think so. I think it's dark enough. I won't have to wear a slip at all. Oh, right, Lisa? I am with you. That was a tough one for me. Yeah, right, Christine? Yeah, the curves are so hard. That Callie, I said on stream, I was like, all right, this is not going to be a pretty rolled hem. It turned out okay, but it definitely does this, like on the outside of the dress, the rolled hem kind of does this little thing. Yeah. I didn't really set myself up for success on that. I was like, oh yeah, I should have done this a little differently, but I'm not really sure what I would have done extremely differently, except maybe I would have pressed it. I maybe would have clipped a little bit of the curve, and that would have taken me a while to deal with. So, yeah, but the good thing we're not entering it in the fair, right? I'm pretty sure my sewing teacher has long since passed, so, you know, she's never going to see it either. That's kind of a relief. Although, yeah, I don't know. Okay, wait, I already sewed that one. This is the one I want. Right here, okay. So, Christy, look, when I've turned this up, you can tell it's a curved hem because, look, it's not doing this, right? So that is kind of an issue. But what I try and do is always focus on the seam junctures. This is my backstitch thread, by the way. This is what's been annoying me on all of these. So I try and keep my seam lined up right here, folded up. That way I know that that spot is gonna be, like if I get there, I'm back on track, right? Because if I let this seam here push like this, I'll get torquing. So I try and always use these little junctures and things like that as my my next neutral point and 0, point, you know? Yeah, you know, I kept calling this lawn to you guys, but they call it voile on the selvage, so I'm wrong. It would be interesting to understand what the difference is. Is it a, like, microgram thread per whatever, you know? Oh, you did the bias tape? That's smart, Lisa. Did you have trouble with that, though? Oh, I did bias tape, too. Yeah, bias tape on things like that is really tricky. It's just like a neckline. And like I said, mine does do that little bit of like a flip. Yeah. All right, which one does this flip? Toward that way. I need to deal with a little bit of that messy pocket up there. I'm gonna think about it first. All right, ooh, I'm almost done. This is my last section. That went fast. This dress oh, did I run out of box? You gotta be kidding me. Sigh. I need to clean out my bobbin case. Well, you guys can leave if you need to. Oh, no. Don't lose the straw. I haven't been doing that enough lately because I'm usually with you guys when I sew now. I'm not sewing by myself. Good idea, Eliza. I did realize, like, part of it, I figured out how to do it, and I kind of figured it out by the time I got to the invisible zipper. Because I think, like, twerking queen. No, I did not say twerking. Yeah. I feel like where I started wrong on that, I don't know if you heard me say this, is that when I attached the pockets to the side seam, that's where I went wrong because I didn't do them at the full 5/8 inch and I needed to. I sewed them to the side seam as if they were going to be a French seam and I was going to come back to them, but I didn't. So that was where I went wrong. So if I were to do that again, I would sew the pockets to the side skirt with the full seam allowance, and then I would do my French seam, and then it would be fine. It would have been a lot better. It would have lined up better. I am thinking about the Callie, Eliza. Yeah. I am. I have been thinking about it. I think I'm going to do some pattern drafting streams in June. A lot of them, like mostly do pattern drafting streams in June. And I think that's when I'd like to address that. It would be really nice to have a dress form so that I could immediately put it on the dress form and show you guys what's good and what's bad and what I like, what I don't like, you know. That's why I've been thinking about getting a dress form. My dress form's tiny, so I could do pattern things based on her, but I don't really feel like that's real world for all of us. So, you know. All right, here's my hem. Iced sleeve hems. Lost in Dress. Did you guys ever see Pigs in Space? Pigs in Space. All right, here we go. Whew, a lot of dress. When it's a busy print like this, it's really hard to tell. To get rid of, you really need to make sure your edge is going to be as straight as possible, or as, I shouldn't say straight, as smooth as possible too, to prevent the torquing. Because when you get to those little uneven spots like that, you're compensating while you're still trying to do all the rest of what you're trying to do, you know? This thread is just too thick. I think a lot of my issues on this are kind of thread related, to be honest. All right, this is the front, this is the back, so I'm going to push my seam allowance to the back. I'm going to do it a little narrower at the underarm. It'll do better, I think. And this is the back. Okay, I'm pushing the shoulder seam to the back. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's just inside. Okay. See, it's a little bit of a curve there. You see all that? Do you see that mess? I'm not sure how I'll deal with that. What I'm going to do, can you see that? So it really wants to torque really bad right there. See that? So this is how I would get around that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this over and I'm going to pull it over as if it's going this way. I'm going to kind of curve it as I go. I'm going to try to keep this relaxed because this is longer than this, what I'm sewing it to. And it's just because, right, did my needle come unthreaded? God damn it. I always do that. I get all ready to go and then... All right, and now I have to take this out because there's a lot of oil right there. And it's on my thread, so I don't want it in my dress. Let's see. Gosh darn it. Let's see. Okay, there we go. I got it. Where is my scrap fabric? Get rid of some of that oil. All right. So you see that angle right there? So one way we could fix this is by making a right angle transition into the seam. It does poof out a bit. Yours sounds better than mine. Mine gives me a hump back. So, so this is, like, you can even tell the seam allowance isn't even going to meet the edge there. So let's see. This is my underarm of my sleeve. Now what I could do is I could kind of cut a little bit of a curve there. And the thing is, like, you could argue, but yeah, but then it's going to curve into the garment a little bit. But the thing is, like, the things we're going to have to do to compensate for the sewing are going to do that anyway. So why not? Let's just try a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit of a right angle right there. And then I'm going to smooth it out from here. It'll help a little bit. So now, you see that transition is a little bit better. Now I could do bias binding. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Am I supposed to use bias binding on the hem, the sleeve hems? Because that would be easier. I am. Okay, there we go. Okay, good. So that's good. I'm going to do this little thing on the other side too. So there we go. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. So I'm going to add a right angle to this sleeve as well. That's what I need all my bias for. Look at that. I mean, like, it doesn't look torqued like that, but then when look at that. See, it's just it's a curve right there. So let's give this a little bit of a right angle as well, right here. See, it's nice and straight, but that's not easy to hem. So we're going to curve it in a little bit to nothing at that point. It's very subtle. And then I'll probably straighten out that, like, rough cut edge with my binding. So thank goodness I didn't throw it away. All right, which one's my right side? Here's my right side. And we're gonna start on the right side and go to the inside. So I'm gonna turn my dress inside out. Ooh, this looks so icky. I need to work on my techniques. So here we go. Okay. Okay, this is the back. My camera a little too close for you guys, or do you like it? It's kind of in my way, but I think I can do it. The lighting looks better for you guys than me. This binding is a little too wide. Should be, I think, 1 inch wide. That's my shoulder seam right here. I'm just making sure, oh, that's a bird. I'm just making sure that it's pressed towards the back. It wants to do that because of the gathers at the shoulder. It kind of pushes it, so it's not hard. Not like what it was doing on the waist seam, where at the juncture at the center front. Yeah, so this is helping the bias too, just kind of making that subtle, minimal right angle juncture there. I'm gonna understitch it. Press the seam allowance towards the bias. Okay. And now we'll sew it to the, I'm gonna do the other side, then I'll sew that one. I'll finish this one and I'll probably let you guys go. And I'll do my other sleeve on my own, just so that I don't miss this guy when he contacts me. I don't want him to be like, are you there? All right, so here we kind of, we kind of have the same issue, even though we're not doing the rolled hem, we still do have this kind of issue trying to get this all flat in there. So it's good we added that subtle bit of curving there. It's not gonna solve it, you guys. That's gonna help. I'm gonna start on the back here. I'm gonna fold it in quite a bit. Like I said, 1 inch would be better. Kind of like on the willow tanks that we did yesterday. We like bias binding here in these parts, don't we? I'm kind of using the overlap of that bias there to my advantage. So it kind of spread apart a little bit, but that's okay. That kind of helps me. It's on the inside, so no one sees it. I do think this silhouette is so similar to the Charlie Kaftan. But it's got a 40s vibe, you know? It's okay, look at that. I have a little bit of bunching up there. All right, there's my sleeve. Okay. Get rid of these threads. Cool. And I just have one more. Looking for a long piece of bias. Oh, that's 2 pieces. Alrighty. This is the right side. Okay. So to the right side first. This is the back, right? Yep. Seam to the back. I'm going to start on the back actually. That. Keep that seam pressed towards the back. I'm not pulling the binding in this case because I need more of it, not less. You know what I mean? Like in some cases, when I pull the binding, it helps me because then it curves to the right side and it wants to turn under. In this case, I have a less. I need it to like be longer. Oh, I had that little nip on my seam I need to deal with too. Not sure I'll do that. All right. I feel like I'm talking quieter because this camera is right so close to my face that I keep thinking I'm gonna like be yelling at you, but I figure that's not even that's not the microphone. This dress, I mean, like, I feel like it went together really well, but it feels like I had a bunch of amateur moments. Bye, Betsy. Have a nice evening. Sleep well. Thanks for coming. I had some amateur moments. You know, I had my little rip when I tried it on. I had a learning moment with my pockets and my invisible zipper. Okay. Trying to get that started. So I can get my needle in there and then arrange. That's what I like. And I just fold it all to the inside. Lift up my presser foot. I'm trying to keep that bottom layer to relaxed so that I don't get the torquing that we all don't want. I think you can avoid a little bit because of the nature of the juncture of the underarm to the sleeve, but you can avoid as much as possible. So if I had just sewn this and posted a picture of me wearing it, people would be like, wow, it turned out great. But you know, all the little things, all the little secrets this dress has, you know? And I feel like most things you see that people make have secrets, you know? Did I just get a tuck? Let's see. Man, my back tacks are too long. That is just too much back tack right there. All right, she's done. Yep, exactly. Carry on and rescue. I'm doing those things on purpose to teach you exactly. Yeah, this little pocket thing right here. Okay. Let's see. Let's put her on the dress form, even though she's tiny. Yeah, she's a little small. There we go. I need a twerking. You mean torquing, not twerking, right? There's not going to be any twerking here. Yeah, right, Joy? I totally agree. Yeah, I think the silhouette's really similar to the Charlie. The Charlie's a lot less sewing. But this is a different look. Like the fabric choices for either could be drastically different. This fabric could work in a Charlie. That's the thing. But if I had done this in like maybe a subtle directional stripe, you could really highlight the style lines, you know? Or a solid, like this in a solid, I think would be really stunning. And the Charlie in a solid would look more like a moo-moo. You know what I mean? So I think fabric choice would make a big difference choosing each of those patterns. So there's no zipper in the Charlie. It's just that weird little waist inset. People really get nervous about that, but it's really not that hard to sew. This one has a lot more construction, but it also comes in more sizes. So anyway, yeah, she turned out good. I'm not going to look like this in her. But I like the way I'm looking at it already. So, no, Nancy, I think you should look at the pictures because I think the girl in, let's see if I can. Okay, I can't obviously change my picture, but and you have a large bust. See, I have kind of a large bust. So these gathers are very much, I feel like they're going to either enhance you or they're going to help you cover up. So I feel like it works for both bust sizes. And I think it's more definition, so it's a little more flattering the curvier you are. But if you look at the Myrna pictures in the pattern, don't show that variety, but if you look on the website on the seam work and Colette patterns, and like when you do the refined search, click dresses and Colette, and then you'll get there. Yeah, you might be able. You could, but it's pretty full, and there are curvy sizes in this. It goes up to like a 54-inch bust. So, and the woman they have modeling that one it's gorgeous on her. It is va-va-voom. It looks beautiful. That's why I decided to do the long version, because of the way it looks on the curvy model. Yeah, so you might be able to do an FBA on there. I think you could totally do that. I need to figure out the FBA. Like, I haven't done one myself. But Julia says she loves it. She'll never do anything again. She loves it. She'll never not do it. So I need to practice that too. Because that would be helpful, knowing where and when to do that. And then it would give you more options. So cool. I can't wait to try this on. I feel so like homespun right now compared to this dress. Yeah, exactly, Lisa. Me too. That's what I like about this. I feel like because it's higher waisted at the base of the rib cage, and then it kind of goes out from there. I feel like that helps. Yeah, I've done both. I really like them. Yeah, and then the gathers start up higher. On the Charlie, there's no waist definition. It's loose all the way around. There's a little tie. You can cinch it. Yeah, that's a great idea, Eliza. That one's pretty easy to sew, too. So, cool. Well, thank you. This is our second dress in the sew along. It's the third one I've made this month. Next week, I think I'm going to do the cashmerette Upton. Just right here. So I'm going to do the cashmerette Upton next. I cannot wait to do the tea house, but I'm making myself wait. I'm going to do the smooth waist, not the pleated waist. There's a really beautiful pleated waist. I'm going to do the smooth waist. This is my lining. And I'm doing a Brussels linen, which I think is a blend. So, yeah, you guys are going to do the Charlie. That's awesome. You're welcome, you guys. Yeah, I hope it helps you. And I'm looking forward to doing some pattern streams with you guys and some experiments. I'm going to travel a little bit this summer, but only for a couple weeks, I think, in July. So, but I'll be around. I won't take too much time off. I feel like people will be taking time off this summer, so, at least for people that it's summer. So yeah, well, so we'll start the Upton. I'm going to cut this out probably Tuesday or Wednesday, probably Wednesday. Tuesday, I think I will stream my revisions on my t-shirt for Me Made May. And then we'll start sewing this on Thursday and finishing it on Saturday. I've never made one of these. This is totally new to me, just like this one was. So that's kind of fun. And then the following week, I'm doing the Tea House Dress by Sew House 7. This one is comes in all kinds of sizes. Goes up to a size 28, which has a 56-inch bust and a 58-inch hip. Comes in cup sizes. I'm going to be sewing the size 12, which is the smallest in the range. And it is just a little big for me. So I think that'll be a really good experiment for those of us who really want to sew cashmerette, but we're not in her size range. So yeah, thanks you guys. I learned a lot today too. I really feel like my invisible zipper skills are coming along, and I'm figuring out what works for me and what works for my machine. And you know, I sometimes have to figure out what doesn't work first, and I think I'm getting there. So I'm kind of getting better at that. But I want it to look nicer on the inside. Maybe I should have just picked an interface, the black interfacing. That's probably what I should have done, now that I think about it. See, when I talk it out, it comes to me. So cool. Well, have a great weekend. If you're in the States and you have a long weekend, have a great Memorial Day weekend, honoring our veterans. And I hope that you get some sewing in, and you find a nice ripe watermelon as well. So this looks like me. Oh my gosh, she's like 20 years younger than me. She just had a baby too. Okay, cool. Have a great weekend, you guys. Thanks for coming, and it was lovely to have you here. So I'll see you guys soon.